Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, the author of the blog The Simple Home Place, where I like to share about simplified homemaking, which includes simple recipes, DIY projects, and natural living. Today, as you can see, the intro is a little bit less informal. It is the weekend, I've got my hat on, and I am going to be making over a chair that I found at the thrift store. If you follow me over on Instagram, you may have already seen it. I picked it up for $5. I have been searching for a chair to go along with my desk that, I don't know if you've seen that makeover, but I can link that up above. I actually redid that last summer and I just now got it up a couple videos ago. So I've been searching for a chair for almost a year, 6 months. And I finally found one. I got it for $5 at the thrift store. It is a nice solid piece. I don't really know much about it. I'm not sure if it's totally solid wood. I mean, it's really heavy. On the bottom, it said it's a mixture of woods. So I'm not sure if there's a couple pieces of like a laminate or something. I don't know. As I clean it up and sand it down, I will check that. But either way, I like how it looks. I like that it's solid. I put on Instagram a poll as to what to do with it. I have two thoughts. One is to just sand it down to bare wood and then put some polyurethane over it to seal it, or to stain it the same color as the top of my desk. Some people suggested painting it the color of the desk, but I think it would blend in too much and I'm not sure that I want to do that. So I'm kind of left with those two options. I still don't know what I'm going to do. I've been thinking about it and I'm still not sure. So what I'm going to start off with is just sanding everything down as good as I can, and kind of seeing how that looks and then taking it from there. I didn't buy any supplies for this project except for the polyurethane, which I didn't have any. But aside from that, I'm just using leftover sandpaper that I have. Hopefully this will be a pretty quick project. I say that now, but it might take me quite a while, but we'll see. So I am going to take you outside and we're gonna get going on this project. Okay, you'll have to excuse my voice for this video. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I apologize. But I totally underestimated how long this was going to take, and this project was a big learning moment for me, and I learned a few things, but I'm still going to take you through the process and the evolution of how this chair, the final product, came to be. So I thought it was going to be pretty easy to just sand this whole thing down. So I started with this 150 grit sandpaper that I had left over from my desk project, and I began to sand. And at first, things came off, the varnish came off pretty easily. Worked really well on that top part, but as I kind of went down the chair, it became pretty evident that the varnish was not going to come off very easily. But I will stop talking and allow you to just watch how this unfolds. I'm going to try citrus strip again. The last project I did, the desk, didn't work out so well, but I'm going to try to wrap it with some plastic and hopefully that'll help because sanding isn't doing too much in a lot of different places. So I'm going to try this. Okay, so it is day 2 of renovating this chair, and of course it's not going as easily as I thought it was gonna go. Yesterday what I did was I tried to sand everything down with the 220 grit sandpaper that I had because a lot of it was coming off, so I thought it would be pretty easy to do. Turns out it's not. There were a few space or parts like the top that it was pretty easy. The rest is being pretty stubborn. So I had some citrus strip on hand from when I did the desk renovation, which I hated it for the desk renovation, but I thought factors like it being super hot made it more difficult. Well, turns out, even though it was cooler and I covered it with plastic, that didn't make a difference. It's sticky. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan, but I had it on hand, so I used it. It did strip away a decent amount, but there's still quite a bit of the old varnish left on there that I need to sand. So I'm gonna get some, probably 120 grit sandpaper. I'm at Joann's because I need something for another project, so I'm gonna see if they have some here. Otherwise, I'm gonna go to the Home Depot. Once I get that, I think I can sand everything down, and then we'll have a clean base, a fresh start, and then I can figure out what I wanna do from there. So I'm gonna head into the store now and grab that really quick. Okay, it is the end of day 2. I'm calling it. It wasn't even a whole day. It was probably like 45 minutes. But I got that lower grit sandpaper, and that did work in some areas, but other areas need to be stripped again. And I just don't have it in me to do another round of citrus strip. It's just so annoying, honestly. Next time, I just need to get some paint stripper. I think that would be good. That noise, by the way, is my dog. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, so I have seen some people use oven cleaner to strip their furniture. I don't have any, but I do have to do a Walmart pickup order. So I think I might do that tomorrow and just see. So that's gonna be tomorrow's thing. So it's taking me way longer than I thought it was going to take, but it is what it is. Projects usually take longer than they're supposed to. And then the other dilemma that I'm having is as I'm sanding things down, I'm realizing that it's a hodgepodge of different wood. At least I think it is. Now, at the bottom, it does say that it is made of different woods. But like, I think one leg is different from the other. So it's not even symmetrical that way. And so I'm really having a hard time deciding what I'll do with it, because if I stain it, is it gonna look weird because they're all different? I mean, at one point it had to have been stained the same color. It looks like it was. But I don't know what to do, and I really don't want to paint it, and I really don't want to go buy more paint. So I'm kind of not sure still what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try that oven cleaner and see if that'll strip it. I really hope it does. I've seen people use it. I think that's what it is. I'll do some research and look it up, but for now, I don't want to sand or scrape anymore because I think I'm wasting my time. And so I guess I'll see you tomorrow. So this is the Great Value oven cleaner. I think it's fume free or low fume. I don't know, but it was the saving grace of this project. It worked so incredibly well. I will be starting with this every time I do a project like this because it stripped it so well and left it a really beautiful color, honestly. So this is the first coat that I did. I saturated the entire piece with a really thick layer, and I let it sit for 30 or 40 minutes, maybe an hour, I don't know. And then I went and I scrubbed it all down, and it took the varnish off so well. You can kind of see here all the color, that's the varnish coming off. And this part is messy, but it is not nearly as messy as Citrus Strip because it's not gunky, and it just washes off really well. And so I did a couple goes of this. Here's me just
completely rinsing it off. It's hard because you don't know exactly what it's going to look like until it has dried. And luckily this day it was super windy, so it dried pretty quickly. But you can see like it took the majority of the varnish off. Now I did go back through and do some spot treatments, if you will, to really get everything off. But it just, look how beautiful this is. I don't know about you, but I think this color is gorgeous, and it stripped it down to the bare wood, and I could not be happier. I actually used a whole can of that oven cleaner, but it was like $3, and citrus strip I think was close to $20. So that's a huge savings in my opinion, and it just worked out really well. So now I am going in for a final sand. This is with 220 grit sandpaper. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and smooth. Now this chair did have a few, well, it does have a few like pockets, and I could have filled them in. I decided not to. Again, a little bit of character, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't like snag on your clothing or anything, so I'm not super worried about it. But I just wanted to give it a nice final sand, make sure it's all smooth, and then we will be ready to seal it up and finish this project finally. Here is one final look at what the chair looks like before I go ahead and finish it off. Now what I decided to do was just seal it up with some polyurethane, and I chose this bare water-based fast drying polyurethane in satin. I chose a satin finish because I really didn't want it to be super shiny. I'm not into that look so much, and so this was a good medium between the matte and then whatever the glossy or shiny is. And I chose water-based. I actually had to call my dad when I was at Home Depot because I didn't know the difference between oil-based and water-based. And he told me that water-based will keep the color and oil-based will give it a different hue. And I didn't want a different hue. I wanted to keep the color as best I could. And so that's why I chose the water-based. Now it did deepen the wood, and I think that's to be expected because the wood was in a bare state and it is going to be soaking in that polyurethane. So it did darken it, but I'm not mad about it because I really think the color is still very beautiful. So I ended up doing 2 full coats of this polyurethane over the entire chair, and the final result was really great. I really took my time on this because I didn't want any dripping or anything like that. And these foam brushes worked out pretty well. But you can see right now that's kind of the final color. The additional layer of poly didn't make it look any different. But yeah, I just took my time and it turned out so beautiful. And here is the final result with the desk. I think it turned out so beautifully. Now it doesn't match, it's not super matchy-matchy, but I'm totally okay with it. And now I almost want to redo the top of my desk, but I'm not going to, but I kind of want to. Anyway, so I'm super happy with the result, obviously. And this was a fun project, and it was a project that taught me a lot of things. And if I do projects like this in the future, I will definitely be changing a few things up. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day.